All right, I've already showed you the 5 shapes of freedom, how you can get around the neck in an octave on 2 strings, 2 notes at a time. And one thing I would like to point out right now is that there are really a couple of simple things you can do to organize your thoughts when you're learning this kind of stuff. And it's important to really visualize the guitar this way. There are 3 sets of 2 strings that make it so these patterns are always the same. And these are the top 2, the middle 2, and the bottom 2, right? The E and the B, the G and the D, and the A and the E. We looked at it and we said, okay, we've got it all the same. But then you say, well, there's got to be some subsets in there because there's 6 strings. Is it the same on those other sets? Well, yes and no. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. So the first one is a yes, and that is the A string and the D string. Those are going to be exactly the same shapes. That's the same as doing this. And the reason is, look, here's your A here, right? Here's your A here. These unison things are important to know where they are so you can get your hand to the right position. That's the same exact set of notes, same exact shape. So we've just shown you that yes, you can do the same thing on the D string and the A string, but can you do it on the B string and the G string? And the answer is no, not exactly, because of the way the guitar is tuned. You're going to have an offset. So you're going to be able to play shapes that will get you up and down the neck, but you're going to have to make sure that you recognize where the offset is so that you can stay consistent in the right key and all of those things. And I'll show you a quick example of what I'm talking about. So right here, the top half of this A minor that we've been looking at, which everybody starts with, and they're excited about it, but they want to do more. And here's how you can start really looking at how to do more. We've got that first shape. Now, how do we do that on the B string and the G string? If I took that same shape and I started here, so see, it's exactly the same. But if I did this and tried to do the exact same thing here, listen to it. What happened? Well, there's an offset. Because of the way the guitar is tuned, you have to compensate for the G string here. You can either look at it as compensating for the G string or the B string, but I'm going to say let's compensate for the G string here. So we have this. You have to go down a half step. And so you're going to have this offset kind of thing. Same notes, but you have to, you see how if you were going to play them together versus here, you have this little offset. So that's the important thing to keep in mind for the pentatonics on the G string and the B string. So why don't I show you from this position you're familiar with how to get an octave up the neck. But we're going to start with this kind of sound. It's right in the middle of that box. Right? So this first position here, instead of it being this, we're going to start like this. Even though we could start with the exact same one over here and go up the neck, I'm going to show you from this familiar position here. Now you recognize that one. See, we put 2 shapes in front of the most recognizable one we've been using. So we're starting on the C here. Next one starts on the D. Then we're starting on the E. Notice those offsets on these ones. This one actually only has that offset right there. Otherwise, it's actually starting on the same fret. This one has the offset. This one has the offset. This one has the offset. This one has the offset, you see? But here, it's the same. And now we're back to where we started. So you see, you can play all of these shapes. It doesn't matter what string set. And you can move them around, and you're going to start to see that there's all kinds of patterns that you can connect. And that's what we're going to get into next.